you love chocolates? Well, most of us are a fan of chocolates and are ever ready to eat chocolates in any occasion. So whether it be our birthday or any festive season, chocolates are what are everybody fond of. Now, have you ever wondered where exactly do we get this chocolate from? Well, this chocolate that is now produced and consumed in large quantities is not new to humans. It has been used since the ancient times. The cocoa residue on pottery found in Ecuador, a country in South America, suggests that cocoa has been used since more than 5,000 years ago. The Aztec and the Maya tribes of South America used to produce and cultivate cocoa that was used as a ceremonial drink and also in a form of currency. It is believed that the Olmec tribe of Central America still consumes 40 cups of cocoa, and that is the reason for their good health. Now, this cocoa is what we derive from the cacao tree. So, where exactly do we find this cacao tree? Well, in the ancient times, that is in the early times, the cacao tree was found in abundance in the Amazon basin region of South America. So, the cacao plant or the cacao tree is indigenous plant of South America, and it is found mainly in the Amazon rainforest region. So, in the earlier times when the Europeans were colonizing different parts of the world and also the country of Africa, they realized that some parts of Ghana has similar climatic and geographical conditions as that of the Amazon rainforest region. So, they experimented to plant the cacao tree in this region. So, when they planted the cacao tree in Ghana, it was a successful experiment. And eventually, it led to the immense cultivation and production of cocoa in independent Ghana. So, in this lesson, we'll be doing a case study of the cocoa production in Ghana. So, we saw in the previous map how the cacao plant grows well in the equatorial region, and that is why it is indigenous to the Amazon basin of South America and now are grown in abundance in Ghana. So, we can say that the cacao tree is a tropical evergreen tree. Tropical evergreen tree means that it requires a good amount of rainfall. Now, these trees are beautiful as they bear bright flowers directly on their trunk. Don't you think these are very beautiful? So, the cacao tree that provides us with cocoa is a beautiful tree and it bears bright flowers directly on its trunk. So, these tropical evergreen trees that bear bright flowers on their trunk also require certain climatic or suitable conditions that will help them grow well and grow healthy. Now, what do you think would be the suitable conditions for the same? Well, since the cacao tree is a tropical evergreen tree, it requires a well-drained lowland with alluvial soil along with warm and wet climate for its growth. This means that it requires a soil that is porous and clayey in nature. So, it requires alluvial soil and a well-drained lowland, because if the region or if the lowland is not well drained and there is waterlogging, then it will destroy the crops. So, the cacao plant requires a well-drained lowland with alluvial soil which is porous and clay in nature, and it requires a wet and warm climate for its growth, which is typical to all the tropical evergreen forests. Now, most of the farmers or cacao cultivators be clever enough to plant the cacao trees along with larger trees like banyan trees or banana trees. Now, why do you think so? Well, the cacao tree requires enough amount of sunlight. Now, the cacao trees grows well in full to partial sunlight. However, long exposure of direct rays of the sun will scorch their leaves, for which they also require abundant amount of protection and shade. This is the reason the cacao plants are usually grown under the shade and protection of larger trees like the banana trees. So the banana trees provides it with partial shade and protection so that the leaves of the cacao trees do not scorch because of long exposure to the direct rays of the sun. So now let us summarize the conditions that are required for the healthy growth of a cacao plant. So the conditions required for the cultivation of cacao trees includes a well-drained lowland, porous soil rich in clay, warm and wet climate as they are tropical evergreen trees, rainfall more than 125 centimeter per year, and protection from direct rays of the sun. So they need some form of protection and shade with the help from larger trees that could be grown along the cacao trees. Now, because of increased demand of cacao all around the world, they are now grown in plantations. So the cacao seeds are firstly sown in nurseries, as we can see here, and after they have grown to a certain age, they are then transferred into large plantations and then they are grown there. So, because of increased demand and high commercial value, the cacao plants are now being grown like this. So, the cacao seeds are first sown in nurseries and then grown in large plantations. So the cacao trees require around 4 to 5 years to mature fully, and they produce fruits in the form of elongated pod. So here we have an image that shows us how the cacao trees give rise to fruits in an elongated pod structure. Now it is believed that the best time for the plantation of these cacao seeds or the cacao plants is spring or winter. So these two seasons are believed to be the best for the cultivation of cacao trees. So before we proceed with the lesson, could you help me answer this simple question? Which of the following seasons is the best time to plant the cacao seeds? Is it the summer season, the winter season, or the monsoon season? Well, the correct answer out of these is the winter season. The winter season is ideal for the planting of the cacao seeds. Now after they are fully mature and the fruits are ready, it is seen that inside each cacao pod there are around 20 to 100 cacao beans. So each pod provides us with so many cacao beans. Now the cacao beans are generally scooped out by hand. So they take out or scoop out the cacao beans from the cacao pod, usually with the help of hand. So it is done manually. After they have been scooped out, these cacao beans are fermented by getting covered by banana leaves. Now these banana leaves helps in the fermentation of these cacao beans that dries out and it becomes softer and softer. After fermentation, they are cleaned, washed, and then they are sent for roasting. So they are roasted. After they are roasted, the cocoa beans are then packed and then they are sent to the cocoa manufacturing plant where they are processed to provide us with different byproducts. And from there, we get the cocoa powder. So the cocoa powder is then again used for a number of purposes. So here is an image that shows us how we get chocolate from the cacao tree. So this picture shows us a cacao fruit that is here and roasted cocoa beans. From the cacao fruit we get the cacao beans. The cacao beans are fermented, washed and roasted to form the cocoa beans. The cocoa beans, after being processed in the factories, provide us with the cocoa powder, which is then converted into different products like our very favorite chocolate. Besides the cocoa powder, the fermentation and the washing process of the cacao beans also provides us with a number of other important byproducts, just like the cocoa potash. So the cocoa potash is believed to be used for the manufacturing of soaps. We also get dried cocoa pod shells, and they are used as fertilizers. Other than these two, we also get dried cocoa pod husk that are used for feeding animals, and finally we get the cocoa butter that is used in cosmetic products and also for making sweet dishes or any other food. So we see that the entire process of the making of cocoa provides us with many byproducts which also has their own usefulness. So in this lesson, we were able to understand how cocoa is being used since more than 5,000 years ago, and it is not new to human. It provides us with chocolate, and chocolate has a high demand or a high commercial value across the globe. We understood how we get cocoa from the cacao tree or the cacao fruit, and we saw the entire process from it being converted into a cacao bean to a cocoa powder. We also got to learn how the growth of a cacao tree requires suitable conditions, and therefore keeping in mind those conditions will help in the healthier growth of this cacao plants. In our next lesson, we'll be taking a look at certain problems associated with the cocoa production and the problems that the cocoa cultivators face. We also will be able to look at certain remedies and solutions that has been provided by government to take care of these problems. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app to learn one-to-one with our amazing teachers or to get access to all our 5,000 plus amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock test. Get all your doubts resolved instantly. Learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, it is rewarding too. So register for free now.